Alright, you guys. We have a sad Natsume who thinks that she's done everything she wants to do in life, and that is unacceptable to me because she is my personal best girl, and I won't allow it. I'm not going to allow her to just live her days waiting to pass away. Okay, we got to bring meaning back into our life. We need to figure out what we can do for her. We need to learn more about the backstory of not just her, but of our mom, apparently, who was at the hospital too. There's some stuff going on that we need to figure out. So we're going to go ahead and continue here. We are going to the Miwa General Hospital, and hopefully we'll get some answers there. Since this New Year's hospital isn't accepting any medical appointments, but visitors are still allowed in during the day. As I'd made sure beforehand, the hospital ward's automatic doors grant me entry without any problem. Naturally, however, I'm not here to visit a patient, neither am I here to meet anyone. No, the reason I came here was to take another look at the drawings decorating the lobby. Drawings made by the children in the hospital. There are quite a number of drawings on display, both new and old. But among them was one in particular that stood out to me the last time I visited the hospital. That's the one I'm here to see. Looks like I was right. Locating the drawing, I walk in front of it once more to give it a good look. Artistically, it's not particularly impressive compared to the others around it, but what had caught my eye was the subject of the drawing itself. This had to be a drawing of a cafe. There's a counter and a man behind it pouring coffee, a waitress wearing a familiar maid-like uniform, and another girl wearing the same thing. Around them is a bunch of children who seem to be customers. Everyone was smiling. Perhaps these customers are the other children in the hospital when this was drawn, or alternatively, the artist's friends. Either way, the uniforms look very similar to the maid outfits Shiki-san wore the first time I met her. Far too familiar to be a coincidence. Of course, she agreed to overhaul the waitress uniforms back then, but that maid outfit may have been more important to her than I'd realized. I guess I should have known. If it wasn't important to her, she wouldn't still think of a way to wear it at work after all this time. Well, this is all just speculation on my part. I need definite proof that this drawing is hers.
ねえねえ、あなた前にここで先生と話してた人じゃない？
I turned around to see a girl with crutches. Oh, we met on Christmas Day,
そう
didn't
そう、
we?
やっぱりあの時の店員さんでしょ。
The very
あ
one.
のケーキ本当に美味しかったよ。先生に場所聞いて今度絶対に行くからね。
Awesome. Are you sure you're supposed to be walking around like this?
としてたら体がなまっちゃう。体力落としたくないんだよね。
Yeah, I think, like, if you have crutches, I mean, obviously they intended on you to walk. You broke your leg climbing a mountain, right? If I recall, that's what you drew your picture of.
そういや前も絵を気にしてたね。何してるの？
No, actually, I came here to take a look at these drawings. You wouldn't have to know who drew each of these, would you?
そりゃまあ、私が入院してた頃に描かれた絵なら。
I'm interested in this drawing here, the cafe. Would you happen to know the person's name or anything?
それを描いた子なら覚えてるけど。でもなんで？
I mean, wasn't it a while ago that this happened?
聞いてどうするの？
Me at least, my life depends on
大
it.
げさに聞こえるけど、少なくとも冗談って様子でもなさそうだね。
Yeah, that does sound like a little bit of an exaggeration, but you know,
うーん。
kind of not.
とりあえず事情くらい教えてよ。それくらいは聞かせてもらわないとさ。ほら、個人情報だから。
Hey, I don't want to hear it from you, miss. I won't tell your wife and kid. Sorry, I'm
お
late.
かえりなさい先輩。ずいぶん長い休憩でしたね。
Yeah, I had some stuff to do, you know. You had to go take care of a little something.
大したことではない。それよりも収穫は。
My cat just like sitting like next to my desk, and she's just like staring at me with just wide eyes. Like, okay, creeper. I mean, it's like past midnight, so please don't do that. That's a little scary. Yeah, more or less.
何の話ですか？
It's a secret.
余計に気になる。
Anyways, I can take it over now. Thanks for holding down the fort, Hiyojidani-san.
いえ、明日も手伝いましょうか？
That'd be great. I'm sure our customers would be happy seeing your cheerful smile than my sour mug.
もう何言ってるんですか先輩。お世辞とか言われても。
Whoa, whoa,
しま
whoa.
せんけど。
May, you already had your route, okay? No more of this sweet talking, okay? No, I'm serious. If I were a customer, I'd much prefer that sunny smile of yours.
褒めても何も出ませんよ。
I don't know. You gave me a lot of stuff in our route, okay? Know what I mean? What?
戻ったなら仕事して。
Is somebody jealous? She's not mad, is she? Did something happen while I was away?
特には何も。さっきまで明るく接客してくれてましたよ。
すみません。肉まんを2つください。
Yes, sir. That'll be 200 yen. And don't worry.
デレデレしちゃって。
Look at him flirting right in front of me. Ooh, somebody is jelly.
言ったくせに気持ちを変えてやるとか言ったくせに。
To be fair, she was flirting with me, okay?
あれでも私が怒る筋合いじゃないのか。断ったのは私なんだから。
Yeah, those are the worst kind of people that, like, would tell you no, like, I don't want to be in a relationship with you, and then get mad when you get into a relationship with somebody else. It's like, excuse me?
でも
It's a true thing. People like when you're taken. They like when you're a little bit harder to get. When you're just free and available and desperate for a relationship, like, nobody's going to be interested in that. They want somebody who's already, they can see themselves, I guess, in that relationship because that person's already in a relationship. You become more desirable. As bad as that is, I'm not saying that's a good thing. After we finish cleaning up, I give my back a good stretch. Another day done. Guess tomorrow will be our last hurrah. I think it's safe to say our meat buns were a huge success.
そうね。でもまだ終わったわけじゃないから。
Yeah, I know.
あれ
Oh,
待っててくれたんだ。
I don't think that probably went through my microphone, but I just cracked my neck and it felt so good. It was such a good crack. Sorry, that was really random, but it felt so good. Wanted to walk you home.
でも
There's something I want to talk to you about.
うん。
No, she's nervous. I don't do anything weird here, Kousei. Shiki-san and I make our way home side by side. How many times have we walked back together like this? In reality, it probably hasn't been that many times. It only feels that way because I've spent so much time with her these past few days. Yeah, we definitely walked May home a lot more than you guys have. Tomorrow will be our last day running the stall. After that, I guess it's back to work as usual at the cafe.
正月の休みを取った分、お客さんが離れなきゃいいんだけど。
Judging by how popular we were last year, I doubt that'll be a concern. We'll be just fine.
なんか妙に自信があるみたいだけど、何か根拠があるってこと？
Yeah, because Suzune makes the most amazing cakes. And then we make other things too.
情けないことを堂々と言わないで。
I'm serious though, I know how important this cafe is to you. Even if our customers have lost interest, we'll just have to reel them back in. And if we can't do that, we'll bring in a new customer base. It's not all about that anyways. Didn't I tell you yesterday? I don't think I'll forget the memories I made at Cafe Stella. It holds a special place in my heart, and I'm sure the same goes for Nozomi, Hyochidani-san, and Suzune-san as well.
なんかムカつく。
What do you mean grind your gears? I'm trying to instill in you some joy that the cafe you've built is a wonderful place to be.
なんでもない。
Although she snapped at me for seemingly no reason at all, I decided to let it slide because of how cute she looks when she gets angry. Hey, you know, that's a good reason.
それで話っていうのは？
Oh, right, where to start? Basically, I want to see you wearing your maid outfit again.
ついにコスプレ好きの趣味を隠さなくなってきたか。
No. No. That's not what I was saying. I know it was your dream to wear that outfit ever since you were a kid.
何言ってるの？
You remember how I went to Miwa Hospital on Christmas to return the present Mr. Miyama left at the cafe, don't you? I saw something while I was there. There were drawings decorating the lobby, drawing the children in the hospital.
へえ、そうなんだ。
Oh, yeah. You wouldn't know anything about that, would you? Among them was a little girl's drawing of waitresses working at a
子
cafe.
供の頃にカフェに憧れる女の子は多いからね。あとパティシエとかも。
Maybe, but the uniforms these waitresses were wearing looked identical to the ones you wore when I first met you.
ああ、ならメイド喫茶なのかもね。あの服割とベーシックな感じだし。
Well, that's why I went to investigate who had drawn it. That's when I went on my break today. As luck would have it, I ran into a patient who recognized the girl who drew that picture. She had been in the pediatrics ward at the same time. That picture you drew was really sweet, Shiki-san.
そういえば、あの頃の私は純真だったな。
No need to smile wistfully like that. You might have grown a bit more cynical these days, but I still think you're just as cute.
それさ、フォローしてるつもりかもしれないけど、結構煽ってるからね。
Yeah, I mean, she probably doesn't appreciate us doing all this snooping.
はあ、未だに飾ってあるとは思ってなかった。
The patient I talked to said you were the one who designed those outfits too.
デザインってほどでもない。お店を始めるときに制服はどんなのがいいか親に聞かれたの。
And you suggested they wear maid
限
outfits.
定したわけじゃないけど、確か好きだったキャラクターグッズのコラボカフェがあってね。そのお店のウェイトレス服が可愛いと思ってた、当時は。
Right.
そもそもはもっと子供向けのアニメとかに出てきそうな制服だったんだけどね。
I mean, I don't think maid outfits would appeal to kids. That mostly appeals to adults.
お母さんが着るにはちょっと若すぎたというか、幼すぎたから、今みたいなメイド風に落ち着いて、それを絵に描いてみただけ。思い入れが深いってほどじゃない。
I don't know. I think I meant something more to you than it appears. So if the outfit didn't mean anything to you, you wouldn't personally have said something. You wouldn't have said it was something you wanted to wear personally that one time.
ほんとやらかしたな。やっぱり変な欲を出してもろくなことがない。
I don't know, Natsume. You seem to be doing a lot of things you regret. You apparently regret that picture, and you regret, I don't know, saying anything about the maid outfit. And then she also regretted wearing the kipao, even though that was literally something she went out and bought herself. Why don't we think of a way to make that maid outfit work? Even if that means we have to do it in a complete overhaul, I'm sure we can think of something. So please don't go telling me you're satisfied just yet. This whole cafe thing was your dream in the first place, remember? I'm not going to let you call it quits and then leave the rest of us. I'm going to make sure you take full responsibility.
責任？
I'm going to make you marry... Well, there it is, Kousei. Let's freaking do it, man. Oh, good for you. I'm so proud of you.
バカ。
Oh, she could at least give it some thought before shooting me down.
言ったでしょ。私に期待されても困る。
What do you mean? I mean, okay, let's just go nothing looks wise, okay? Because I mean, looks are what like bring you in, but like personality and stuff like that is what like keeps you, right? Natsume is like always been super nice, and she's always like gone out with us for drinks and stuff, and then, you know, kind of opened up, and she was one of the few people that actually complimented us and like made us feel like a real human being, when everybody else was a bit too busy calling us a pervert and saying we were creepy. I mean, not to say that Natsume didn't do that too, but there was a lot of times where she really just like sat down, most of the time in private, and really like consoled us. I mean, Kanna kind of did that too a little bit too, right? Definitely tried to like cheer us up, you know, and I'm not denying that, but like I feel like Natsume really genuinely cared about Kousei, and I feel like that's a reason why he would fall in love with her. I mean, they've had a lot of interesting experiences together.
仮に責任を取ったとしても、高峰君を後悔させるだけ。
Sounds a lot like my wife. My wife's a little bit like this sometimes. Always like thinking people are gonna regret something. She, like her self-worth always isn't there. And she's gotten better. We're working on it, but it's like don't ever tell yourself you're not good enough for someone or something. Like it's fine to want to improve, guys. Like there's nothing wrong with improving yourself or feeling like you should be able to do better at something. But like, don't let it become like a toxic thing that's dragging you down. There's nothing wrong with improving yourself, but like, don't let that rule over everything. Like, don't start telling yourself you're not worthy of doing something or worthy of being with somebody. I mean, if they love you, that's what matters. If they like hanging out with you, that's what matters. Don't you remember what I told you yesterday? These days I feel more fulfilled than ever. Everything around me seems to sparkle, even though it's the same old scenery. It's all because of you, Shiki-san. Well, maybe I wouldn't be grief-stricken if something did happen to her, but still. I'd never regret being with you, I guarantee.
やめてそういうの。ダメだから。私は他の人を振り回すような価値のない人間だから。
I will say, though, I think this line of thinking is a lot more geared towards women. Like, and I'm not saying anything bad by that. Like, I just feel like it's usually girls who seem to think this way. And it's like, I don't understand why. Because, I mean, I don't feel like it's justified. You're worth it to me. In fact, the time I've spent with you at Cafe Stella was just about the only worthwhile thing I've done in my entire life. I'll still love you no matter how many times you turn me down. I love Shiki Natsume with all my heart. You're the one who brightened my life, so now I want to brighten your life the same way you brightened mine. So will you please go out with me?
もうすでにキラキラしてるし。
Well, I'll make you enjoy it even more. We'll go on dates together, walking around holding hands, sharing another kiss. Those are the things I want to do with you. If you can't be my girlfriend no matter what, then at least be my lover.
せめての使い方がおかしいでしょ。バカ。
I feel like a lover is just probably someone you have sex with, and then you know, relationship is where you actually have more like deeper meaningful feelings involved. Look, what I'm trying to say is I love you.
今日はここでいい。ここで十分。ここからは一人で帰る。聞こえないふりしてるわけじゃない。ちゃんと聞こえた。でも今日は一人で帰らせて。
Alright, I mean, I guess that's fair. Well, I see you at the stall, same time as usual tomorrow. Should I ask Akazuki-san or someone to help instead?
それはちゃんと行く。
Alright, see you tomorrow then. Good night.
うん。
Bidding her goodbye, I turn to
あ
leave.
のさ。
Turning back around, I see Shiki-san's hand raised halfway into the air, almost as if she wants to grab my sleeve. Her gaze wavers, slightly unsure of what to do with that hand. In the end, she decides... What the? There's no E at the end. Decides to give... Or there's no E before the S. To give me a small wave.
また明日ね。
Yeah, see ya. Alright. Interesting interaction right there at the end. I said all I wanted to, and I'm fairly confident I got my feelings across. Coming to that conclusion, I contented myself to meekly backing down. Was that really for the best? Maybe I should have pressed her a bit more, maybe a little bit more persistent. Well, too late now. Well, she did say she'd show up to the stall tomorrow at least, and she's not the sort of person who backs down on her word. On second thought, I really should have been a bit more pushier. No, I think you were fine. I think he did great. I'm actually... this version of Kousei is really good. I got a comment on one of the past episodes. I think it was like episode 33, and someone was mentioning how like Kousei kind of adapts to each version or you know, like each girl. So like each version of whichever route he's on. So I thought that was interesting. I never really thought of it that way, but yeah, I mean, he kind of does adapt his personality in a way to each girl, which is fine. I mean, I think that makes it interesting, but it is kind of frustrating when sometimes he's just like this little baby when it comes to relationships and has no idea what he's doing. And then like this one where I feel like he's making a lot more like mature decisions, and he sometimes takes initiative. I mean, he's been taking initiative, I should say. I'm not even gonna say sometimes. He's been doing a great job, and I wish he was more like this in some of the other routes. But you know, that's where the story comes in. He's gotta conform, I guess. A little while longer, I continue to lay on my bed, agonizing over my decision.
カフェステラと死神の蝶。
See where this is gonna go here. Despite not having received a clear answer from Shiki-san yesterday, I enjoyed a surprisingly good night's sleep. Probably because I got everything off my chest and managed to convey my feelings to her. I don't know if that means she'll give me a reply the moment I see her today, but I'm hopeful I'll get some sort of response. I wonder what she's gonna say. Anyways, I should wash up first. After a deep breath, I step confidently out the door and head towards Aikawa's shrine. She's not here. This is around the time we usually start setting up the stall. Maybe she overslept after everything that happened yesterday. Well, I guess we'll get started without her. Wonder if she's gonna bail on us. Even after it came time to open for business, Shiki-san remained to be Hold up. Remained to be seen. Wait, what? That line makes sense to you guys? Shiki-san remained to be seen. Okay, oh, so she like... Okay, I get it. I don't know, it's kind of late right now, I'm a little bit tired. She's not avoiding me, is she? No, she's not that sort of person. Even though I tried texting her and even calling her, I got no response. It's a bit of a problem. Maybe I shouldn't have said all those things to her after all. Oh crap, now I'm doubting myself all over again. snap out of it. There's no point in thinking about that now. The current problem at hand is that I'm understaffed. I'm not gonna be able to run the stall on my own, but I can't go looking for Shiki-san and leave the place unattended either. With no choice, I pull out my phone in order to call Mikide or Akizuki-san and ask for help. But before I can press call, my phone rings.
高峰さんですか？今連絡がありまして、夏目さんが病院に
Oh,
運ばれて。
oh, frick, we're doing this. Oh, okay. Wow, that was a little
カフェ
short
ステラ
chapter
と
right
死
there.
神の蝶。
Like, we just got into that chapter and it's already over.
あのさ、
For a moment, my hand stretches out towards them. Maybe these are my true feelings after all. But then I'm unable to muster up the courage. Instead, I withdraw my hand and give him a light wave.
また明日ね。
As I watch him leave, I feel my chest tightening up. Nothing good's ever come from me asking for more than I deserve. All I do is fall ill at the worst possible moments and inconvenience the people around me. Lots of clan ad vibes here. I'm done. I won't inconvenience anyone anymore. That's what I told myself the longest time, but now I'm having second thoughts. If it were anyone but him, I wouldn't be thinking this way. Without him, we never would have been able to open the cafe. All those customers, all those smiling faces, none of that would have ever been possible either. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't be enjoying my life as much as I am. Closing my eyes, I can picture it clearly. The herbal scent of tea, the earthy aroma of coffee, the sweet smell of cakes, the noisy chatter of customers, the voices of my fellow waitresses. Those memories stand out in my mind with bright, vivid color. I mean, that looked pretty black and white to me, but, you know, I'll take your word for it. He made it all possible. All I'd ever done was give up, but he never gave up on me. My dreams had always been silly, trifle things, and because of that, I never thought about sharing them with others. But he completely ignored my feelings and barged his way into my life. He'd come straight out and told me that he loved me. And at this rate, I'm actually starting to believe him. I'm actually starting to feel hopeful again.
望んでもいいのかな。
Yes, absolutely. All human beings deserve happiness and love. I mean, not to say that all of them get that, because, you know, you still have consequences for your actions. I mean, if you're going out, like, killing somebody, like, obviously you're not going to probably live a very happy life. I mean, I heard jail's not that great. So, don't do something like that. But the words unconsciously slip from my mouth. Unable to come up with an answer to that question, I return home by myself. And as my apartment comes into view, my vision suddenly blurs and my field of view turns dark. My chest tightens painfully. Gosh, and now we got some ReZero stuff. Beads of cold sweat begin to form on my skin. Nausea starts to mount, forcing me to my knees. I can't breathe, my body won't move. The pain is so terrible I can hardly think. He went out of his way to confess to me, to say he loved me. Might have even been able to live a happy life with him, but alas, it was never meant to be.
やっぱりこうなっちゃうのか。
What the frick, Natsume? Stop thinking so pessimistic. Rather, it happened now instead of after I'd reciprocated his feelings.
ごめん。やっぱり私はダメみたい。
Giving up and peacefully accepting my fate, I succumbed into the darkness. Can you imagine if they just ended this route with her dying? Like, that would be so crazy. Feel a pang of regret ever so slightly for all the things that could have
せ
been.
めて最後にありがとうくらいは言っておきたかったな。
In the end, my life was one filled with nothing but regret. When I was first told I was sickly and unlike most normal people, all I could do was simply accept it and say, okay. In all likelihood, I hadn't truly understood the gravity of what that meant. All it meant to me back then was that I had to miss school a lot more than the other kids, especially when it came to time for school events. Not just field trips, I wasn't able to participate in many class outings either. After all, it would have been rather problematic if something were to happen to me. Perhaps out of consideration for my health, my peers rarely asked me to play with them. Even when I was invited, I'd often be unable to go due to the volatility of my health. I think that the majority of those around me regarded me with pity. My parents, on the other hand, were kind and patient. Though my health caused them all sorts of problems, they never became upset with me even once. On the contrary, they always smiled when they spoke to me, and always listened to what I had to say.
カフェで私も働く。可愛い服を着たいな。なんかこう、メイドさんみたいなのとか。
Well, Natsume, you did get to live that. You were living that. Although they always talked about their dream with such joy, my parents didn't hesitate to give up in the blink of an eye for my sake. Words can't express my gratitude towards them, but that's exactly why I feel even guiltier for making them give up so much, for being such a burden, snatching away their dreams, and ultimately for being such an insignificant person despite all they've
ご
done for
めん
me.
ね、こんな子供で。生まれたのが私じゃなかったら諦めずに済んだはずなのに。
I wonder if that's very much Japanese culture too, like if they're inconveniencing other people, like they feel like so personally responsible.
だからごめんなさい。
I didn't want to inconvenience anyone further. Yep. I didn't want to be a burden on those around me, and so I did what I thought was best and decided to stay out of other people's lives. I retreated into my shell, and that's how I lived my life. One day, however, a mysterious cat appeared before me. In a rather arrogant voice, he demanded to find a reason to live. He was loud, annoying, and most of all, he angered me. He didn't know a thing about me. Who was he to tell me what to do? But his words still shook me. A grim reaper and a cat sheed, two mystical beings standing before me, who, unlike my parents or my friends, I had absolutely no connection with. In that case, perhaps they wouldn't mind if I inconvenienced them a bit. That's what they told me, after all. It wouldn't be my fault. Maybe, just maybe, I could confide in them. But even as I thought that, I was surprised at the words which came out of my mouth.
カフェ。
It was a dream I'd had ever since I was a child, to open a cafe with my parents helping out wearing cute clothes. Truth, I think I wanted to give up on it. There's no way I knew how to run a restaurant. My childhood fantasy would never pan out the way I imagined. Not to mention I couldn't possibly tell my parents I wanted to open a cafe after all this time. I was only piggybacking along. The cafe was their dream, and I was the one who forced them to abandon it. Maybe I should just let this fail. It's not going to work anyways, that's what I told myself. Then this cat-like creature might give up on me too, so I thought. But things took an unexpected turn and I ended up being killed in a car accident. Honestly, I imagine I was rather relieved when I died. After all, I've been thinking about it for a long time now. But before I even realized that, I'd become genuinely invested in living, all because of him.
彼はムカつく男だ。
Contradicting my expectations at every turn, turning back time itself so the accident never happened. Yeah, Kousei did do quite a lot. I mean, if you act like this is all for him to eventually end up with her, I mean, a lot of stuff happened. More and more people started working at the cafe. More and more people started getting involved. The waitress's uniforms changed, started showing a lot more leg. Although we did get customers, the place began to feel more like a cake shop than an actual cafe. Probably due to my own inability and experience, of course. So it sounds like she has some regrets about how things turned out. It wasn't really what she envisioned, quite. Yeah, okay, that's what she's saying right here. I should probably be paying attention, huh? But then again, slowly but surely, more and more customers started showing up. More than I ever thought possible. Not only did they praise our cakes, but our coffee and tea as well. And they did so with smiles on their faces. All of my life, I did nothing but inconvenience the people around me, but now I was able to bring smiles to their faces. This was when I realized something. I was having fun. The world around me became so bright and colorful that it was almost blinding. This too I began to accept as normal. Going to bars to drink with friends. Visiting their apartments and cooking for them. Texting each other about pointless topics. Running a street stall at the New Year's festivals, talking about the future. Throwing a takoyaki party, exchanging Christmas presents, ringing in the New Year together.
彼はとてもムカつく男だ。
He changed my world. These past few months were the best I'd ever had in my entire life, nothing else even compared. But once I was happy, incredibly happy. So I decided I was satisfied, but he ignored me completely. I said this was enough, I'd given up already and was ready to face death, but part of me felt scared. Whenever I saw the smiling faces of our customers, I couldn't help but feel happy. So happy. It made me want to keep working there at that cafe. It made me want to stay with everyone. With him.
だから彼は
Quit telling me you love me. Quit making me happy. Don't make me fall in love with you anymore. So used to trying to fool myself though. Even if I hold it in, even if I cover it up, even if I avert my eyes. I can't deny the truth. These past few months have been an unforgettable experience for me. Not simply because I managed to open a cafe, but because of one infuriating idiot who had made it the time of my life. Honestly, I don't even know why it needs to be
好き
said.
になるに決まってるでしょ。
Huh? Tiki-san. Oh, we're in the room, yeah.
何これ。
Are you awake? Can you say my name? Do you know who I am?
何を言っているの、高峰君。 何そんな深刻な顔してどうし
Um,
たの
yeah, because we found out you were in the hospital and we were like
ど
worried.
ういう意味というか、ここって
I mean, I wouldn't say she was suicidal, but she didn't care, you know?
病院そっか。私、高峰君と別れて、その後家に戻る途中で変になって。
You collapsed, so they brought you to the
どれくらい
hospital.
経ったの
About 2.5 days
そ
now.
んなに
Man, that's a long time. Get us all worried to death.
屋台はどうなったの
A bit chaotic, but we managed to make it to the end. Thanks to everyone's help, our buns sold out completely. In terms of overall sales, we came in 3rd place. Fortunately, Takoyaki turned out to be the crowd favorite in the end. Not so much as a surprise, though. The cheap price must have been a deciding
そ
factor.
う負けちゃったか。
I mean, we were selling it for 100 yen. Like, how much cheaper do you want to go?
散々振り回して結局死に損なって。
Hey, you know, for once, I'm glad you're not doing well at that. I've been worried sick ever since I heard you collapsed and had to be admitted to the hospital. The doctors say they managed to treat you without any problems, but you remained unconscious the whole time. Even when I spoke to you, your eyes wouldn't open. I was legitimately afraid you'd never wake up. Do you understand why I was
さ
worried
すが
now?
にそんなことは言えない。倒れた時自分でもダメだと思った。死ぬってこういうことなんだって。だから生きてることに自分でも驚いちゃって。
You're alive, Shiki-san. That's all that matters. Your legs are still attached too. Want me to show
と
you?
か言って生足を触りたいだけでしょ。おまわりさん。
Ah, there's the Shiki-san we know. Hey, cut that out. I haven't even touched you yet. What do you mean, yet? If you're gonna treat me like a molester, I might actually touch you just to prove you
う
wrong.
わ本当に高峰君だ。
How and why is that your basis for this being
そう
reality?
いう変態なところ私の想像では及ばないから。でもどうして私死んでないの？あれ魂がダメでだからもうダメだって。
That I don't know. Maybe you're right and your soul did grow too weak, but whatever the case, you're alive and well, and what brought you back
ま
was...
さか愛の力とか寒いこと言わないでしょうね。
It's the power of love, dude. Much as I wish that was the case, though, I'm not the one who
ど
saved
うい
you.
う意味？
Well, here, one second. I need to let them know you're awake now. I swapped places with them a few minutes ago when I came to visit.
夏目
Oh, it's her parents.
目覚めてよかった。
お父さんお母さんごめんなさい。私また。
夏目が無事で本当に良かった。
連絡をもらった時は本当にびっくりしたけど。
The man and woman with me are Shiki-san's parents. This should be the first time I met them. Never been to Cafe Stella before, I don't think. Since I work in the kitchen, though, I may simply miss them. Still, if they had visited us before, I'm sure somebody would have mentioned it, which means Shiki-san never invited them intentionally. If I had to guess, I'd say it's probably because of that guilt she opened up to me about. Her parents seem like extremely kind people, though. Can't imagine why they would ever try to belittle their daughter's feelings. Shiki-san averts her eyes apologetically. She must feel guilty about inconveniencing him all the time due to her health. No matter how successful Cafe Stella has become, part of her might still be afraid of disappointing them. But that cafe is testament to all of her hard work and dedication. She put in the effort, and slowly but surely she made her dream a reality. She managed to put smiles on the faces of so many of our customers, yet the fear of having all that denied by her parents must be far greater than I thought. There's nothing more frustrating than seeing the girl I love so sad, yet being unable to do anything about it.
本当にごめんなさい。
変なことを気にしなくていい。
The cat, like, got startled and woke up.
別に夏目が悪いわけじゃないんだ。
そうよ。謝ったりしなくていいから。
まずは体力を回復させよう。すみません。娘を助けていただいて本当にありがとうございました。
礼を言われるようなことではありません。夏目ちゃんが目を覚ましてくれて。
It was the landlady.
大家さんが。
どうしても何も心配するのは当然のことじゃない。
She was the one who found you after
お
you
正
collapsed.
月に行ったおせち持っていく途中だったのに道で倒れているから驚いたわ。
Well, that's good timing.
意識もなくてすぐに救急車を呼んだわよ。死んじゃうんじゃないかって私もドキドキして。でも本当に助かってよかった。
ありがとうございます。すみません、ご心配をおかけしたみたいで。
いいのよ、夏目ちゃんがちゃんと目を覚ましてくれたんだ。
容体は落ち着いたし、処置もしっかりやった。だから心配はしてなかったけど、でも起きてくれてほっとしたよ。
ゆいなちゃんのお父さん、確か三山さん。
その説は大変お世話になりま。
三山先生が夏目の命を救ってくれたんだぞ。
たまたまその日の担当が僕でね、間に合って本当によかった。発見がもう少し遅れてたら、こんな風に話すことはできなかったかもしれない。
Well, dang. I mean, that's kind of a little grim.
でも、もう心配はないよ。あの店で見せた情けない姿を思い出すと心配になるかもしれないけど、どうか信じてほしい。娘のためにも胸を張って医者であり続けたいと思ってるから。
そんな風には思っていません。本当にありがとうございます。救ってもらって。
もうしばらくは入院してもらうことになる。でもさっき言った通り、もう問題はないから。安心してゆっくり休むように。倒れた原因の治療は終わったとはいえ、働きすぎという部分にも関係がないわけじゃないからね。それでは、ご
There's
両
a
親
lot
や
of stuff
今
that
後
went
のこと
into
を
it.
含めて少し話をさせていただきたいのですが。
はい。
それじゃあ夏目、また後でね。
It's interesting that they're talking to her parents. It's like she's an adult.
私もそろそろ帰るわね。夏目ちゃんが目覚めて安心。
本当にありがとうございました。
いいの、気にしないで。
I wonder if they're deliberately giving the two of us some alone time. Gave me quite the scare, you know that? Even though I said I loved you, I wasn't there for you when it mattered most. If only I'd stayed with you a little bit while longer that day, none of this would have happened. In fact, it's my fault for working you so hard in the first place with the stall and
それは違
everything.
うでしょう。そもそもは私が言い出したことなんだから。
Well, either way, it made me realize something. What you said before about how inconsequential your existence is, how silly and trifling your dreams are. Remember that?
言ったっけ？
Yeah, you did. I don't want to argue with you, so I won't try to change your mind, but there's one thing I want you to realize. That silly dream of yours is what saved your life. You curried the landlady... Wow, I'm really messing up this sentence. You curried the landlady's favor and got her approval to open the cafe. You worked hard to bring smiles to your customers' faces, and as a result, convinced Mr. Miyama to continue being a doctor. If that hadn't happened, you would have ended up dead, but you didn't. Because you changed your fate through your own efforts. And that's only one part of it. I'm sure you changed a lot of other people's lives you don't even know
それ
about.
は違うでしょ。だって私が一人で解決させたことなんて一つもないし。
But you're the one who set them
で
into
もやっ
motion.
ぱり高峰君がいなかったら今とは違う結果になってた。
I mean, that's true. Nothing wrong with that. You can rely on me again and again. Whatever life throws at you, the two of us can overcome it. I'm just a college kid, though, so there might be a limit to what I can do. But I know Shiki-san understands that. So this is no time to be a coward. It's time to grow a pair and show what I'm made of. I meant what I said before. I want to accept everything about her. In order to do that, I can't shrink back. Even if it's just for show, I have to stand tall. If I don't strut my stuff here, I'll regret it the rest of my life. You might think of yourself as a burden, but I've never enjoyed being with anyone more than you. And nothing makes me happier than seeing you smile. I've said it before and I'll say it again. You're the reason my life is so full of joy now. So let's keep on living to the fullest together.
私さ、意識を失って目の前が真っ暗になった時、その時少し、ほんの少し、そんな未練が生まれたのは君のせい。
It wasn't. That regret was always inside you. And if you ask me, you felt that way all along. I've been enjoying myself every day more than I ever have before. What about you? Can you really give up on the life you have
や
now?
っぱりムカつく男。
What are you trying to say?
もういいって。ちゃんと諦めたつもりだったのに。そんなこと言われたら、いいのかな。私でも願ってもいいのかな。
Yeah, duh. Of course you do.
それはだって今更でしょ。めんどくさい女だって自分でも思うし。
You were just playing hard to get, that's all.
それでも彼女になりたい。私は君の彼女になりたい。
Okay, then let's do it. Looks me directly in the eyes as she says this.
叶うかな。
Slowly I reach out my hand towards hers. In turn, she timidly reaches out for mine. Our fingers touch, then naturally intertwine. It will not Shume.
誰その女。
Sorry, just not used to calling girls by their first
そう
name.
いえば日内谷さんの時も若干気持ち悪かったっけ。
Come on, don't say that. Taking a deep breath, I take a moment to put my emotions in order. And then, I love you. I love you, Natsume. I love you more than anything. Such a wholesome moment, I love it. So please be my girlfriend.
私を彼女にしてください。
And I think the best part is, for me, like, seeing the look on her face, like, how happy she is right now. So worth it. It's so worth it.
カフェステラと死神の蝶。
So in the end, was the reason she clapped work-related stress?
それに関してはわからん。その場に居合わせたならまだしも、すべてはもう解決済みとなってはな。我が輩に保証できることがあるとすれば、四季夏目の魂の問題は解決したということだろう。
That's good. Like last time, Mikado reaches under his cloak to show me his lantern. Inside, the butterfly seems to be flapping its wings with much more vigor than before.
四季夏目の魂に反応しているのだ。これだけ強く輝くのならば、まだ元に戻ってはいないが、いずれはちゃんと人。
まさに愛の力ですね。
I like it. The power of love. Wow, but I don't really think that's the case.
そんなに照れなくてもいいのに。
That freaking nihihi again. Honestly, I think Shiki-san was reluctant to listen to the things Mikado told her at first. But then the more she applied herself to making the cafe a success, the more fun she began to have. Before long, that stiff smile of hers faded, giving way to a much sweeter, more natural one. I think her outlook on life is much more positive now. She just didn't want to admit it. And it was all our customers and their smiley faces that spurred the change.
でもそれを素直に受け入れられたのは高峰さんがいたからですよ。だからあんまり自分を卑下しない方がいいですよ。好きな人がそんな態度だときっと怒るでしょうから。
Well, what can I say? This is just how I am, but I'll try to work on it, I guess. The only time I ever managed to exude confidence was when I confessed to her at the hospital, but even then, that was just an act.
そうしろ。お前にとって恋人は重要な存在だからな。このままうまく収まることを期待しているぞ。
Thank you, Mikado. It's very
後
kind.
々くだらぬ喧嘩で別れて、また蝶を生み出すようなことになるのは笑い話にもならん。
That would kind of suck, huh? I'd hate for that to happen myself, but don't worry. I'll cry and scream and cling to her legs if that's what it takes to stop her from breaking up with me. Yeah, I bet you would like that, wouldn't you?
そういうことを何の恥じらいもなく堂々と言ってのけるのはどうかと思うんですけどね。
Kanna, it's true. You
生来の
speak
性
the
格
truth.
であろう。今さら治るものでもあるまい。だが別にそういう性格を隠してきたわけでもない。四季夏目もそれくらいは理解しているはずだ。でなければ好きだと認めることもなかっただろうしな。
Yeah, she knows how embarrassing he can be.
で
He's
も
accepted
高峰
that.
さん、だからといって何の努力もしないでいいわけじゃないですよ。こういうのはお互いを思い続けることが。
That is true. Very true. Of course, I doubt I'll be able to become someone who's oozing with self-confidence. You've been someone who's oozing with self-confidence this entire time, and I'm actually, like, very happy about it. But as Natsume's boyfriend, I should be fully prepared to do whatever it takes to satisfy her. At the very least, that means standing tall and holding my head up high when we're together, so that she'll keep on loving me.
もうしばらく注意深く観察する必要はあるだろうが、ひとまず丸く収まって何より。
そうですね。ようやく胸を撫で下ろすことができました。おめでとうございます、高峰さん。
よ
Oh,
かったな。
thank you, I guess.
おはようございます。
Hey, good morning.
おはようございます。
のぞみさん、めいさん、おはようございます。今日もよろしくお願いします。
No, actually, I'm firing both of them. I'm actually firing you too, Kanna. I'm firing all the other girls so that I don't look at any of them.
よろしくお願いします。
帝さんもよろしくお願いします。
ああ、よろしく頼む。
Nimble as the cat he is, Mikado had disguised himself in a flash. Alright, I'm gonna head back to the kitchen. Today is Sunday, right in the middle of a 3-day holiday. With this cloudless blue sky overhead, we're bound to get plenty of customers today. Looks like it's gonna be another busy day. Do I want to end it here? I'm not sure. I guess we'll go for a little bit longer. How about that? Although things were as hectic as ever, it being a weekend after all, I still found myself with an occasional spare moment throughout the day. Whenever this happened, my thoughts inevitably began to wander.
もううっざい。わかった。そんなに落ち着かないならさっさと行ってきな。休憩に入っていいから。
Dang, Suzune is pissed. I'll be back in a bit.
はいはい、行ってらっしゃい。
Dang, yeah, she's really mad at us. We're getting distracted on the job here.
オーダー入ります。パンケーキとイチゴパフェ。はいよ。すみません。イチゴのタルトレットってまだ残ってます？ああ、もうなかったはずだけど、一応冷蔵庫の中を確認してみてくれる？はーい。
Dang, it got pretty busy all of a sudden, huh?
すずねさん一人ですか？そわそわして鬱陶しいから休憩あげた。そしたら飛び出していったよ。
You should have seen it. He went flying.
ずっとそんな感じですもんね。青春ですね。
What do you mean? Why are you acting like you're so old?
なんかキラキラしてていいよね。
You're literally younger than me.
さらに年下の君たちが言うかね。
You're both idiots. After quickly changing out of my work clothes, I dashed out of the break room. I exited the cafe and beelined straight towards the hospital. Hey, why are you groaning at me?
いきなりハーハーしてる人が入ってきたら普通は引く。
What do you mean?
お
Is that
店の
true?
方はどう？
Same as ever. Things are just as busy as they were before the holidays. Well, that also means we aren't getting any new customers, but Suzune-san's been thinking about a new cake product to gather interest. I'm sorry, you probably don't want to hear about work right now. But at any rate, the cafe is doing fine, so take it easy and get
あ
some
りが
rest.
とう。でも心配の必要はない。この入院も検査のためで、体は健康なのにベッドから出ちゃダメって。はあ、暇だ。
Oh yeah, I can only imagine. I'd be bored too. I know, but just do as they say till they discharge you, please. You had me worried when you were unconscious.
それずるい。そのことを持ち出されたら。
So you'll promise me.
はいはい。って言っても、問題なければ明日には退院だしね。
That's good.
病は気からって意外と本当なのかもね。治りが早いって言われた。
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Speaking of the cafe, though, I heard your parents wanted you to quit working there after this little
心配は
incident.
されたけど、やめたりしない。私にとって大切な場所だからね。
Oh yeah, definitely. Anyways, let's change the subject. Alright, let's see. I know you said you feel fine now, but is there anything else that's bothering you?
久々に病院食を食べたけど、やっぱりまずい。もっと味の濃いものを食べたい。今だけはカロリー摂取したい。
I mean, the hospital I was at when my daughter was born, they actually had pretty good food. My wife and I feel like, ate some good stuff. And, I didn't feel too bad about it. Well, if all she's here is for some tests, then surely I should be able to bring her something to eat. I'd have to ask for permission, though. Is there anything you want to eat once you get out of here? I'll pay as a little celebration gift.
なら、エビフライ。ほら、前に行った洋食屋さんの。
Fried shrimp, okay. No problem, buy as much as you want. But until then, I'm afraid you're gonna have to bear with the food here.
ご飯は我慢するしかないけど。
Oh.
それなら違うのが欲しい。
Can you repeat that? Why are you clicking your tongue at me? I genuinely couldn't hear you, I swear. For some reason, her face is bright red as she redirects her gaze towards me. Then, still glaring at me, she beckons me closer.
いいから、こっちに来て。
Kinda scared. Why is she being so vague? Never say bring my ear closer. Then,
届きます。
her face is mere inches from my own. Her eyes are closed and her eyelashes sure are long. I get the feeling I had those exact same thoughts the last time as well. I felt this before, the soft sensation of her lips. This is a kiss, right? Stop saying that, my guy. Yes! Yes, when you put your lips together and you do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around, that's what it's all about, my guy. You know, that's called a kiss. My mind just goes blank just as it had the first time. Not that I can react, but there's a little else I can do but surrender myself to her lips.
ごちそうさまでした
Well, that was something. It's not every day I get to make out with a girl in a hospital bed. We gaze at each other, moving our faces closer for a second time when
病室では静かに
the nurse is like, hey, we don't allow that kind of stuff around here.
すみません
まったく
Goodness gracious.
若くて元気があるのはいいことだけどね入院中ってこと忘れてない
Yeah, this is a hospital.
これ以上は言わないけど病室でそれより先に進んじゃダメよ
しませんもうそろそろ帰ったら
私のことなら気にしなくても退散するわよ通りかかっただけだしね
Hey, mind your own business. Usually hospitals have that little, like, privacy thing. You know, we should use that. Well, I guess I should be going soon.
気をつけて
What time are you gonna be discharged tomorrow? I'll come
来
pick you
な
up.
くていいってどのみち退院したらすぐにお店に行くつもお店の様子が気になるし鈴音さんのケーキとかも食べたいし
Dang, I should have brought her one. Better get back to the cafe soon, but before that... Sorry to bother you. There's something someone I have to visit. A certain girl who injured her leg mountain climbing. Some Shizuka. Oh, she actually has a name. The same girl who had been at the hospital with Natsume when she was a
あ
child.
あこんにちは今日も夏目ちゃんのお見舞い
Yeah.
いいなあ焼けちゃうなあ夢を叶えてカフェで働きながら彼氏まで作っちゃうとか羨ましい
Well, maybe if you didn't talk to married men about not telling their wives things, maybe you'd have some better luck. Your dream came true too, didn't it? You got to climb that mountain.
でも彼氏はできてないんだよね男欲しい
You know what, Somei? I have the perfect man for you. Very nice, very dependable. He's tall, good looking. Yeah, yeah.
おっと浮気かな夏目ちゃんに言ってやる
Hey, no. Wait, does that mean you've spoken with her?
いや今のはただのノリ
Why not? You're in the same hospital ward.
なんかね今さら会いに行くのももし私のことを覚えてなかったら
I guess. You're afraid of learning that the memories you shared weren't as important to her as they were to you, is that it?
驚いた何人の心が読めるの君
Wow, you guys sure think a lot alike. No, Natsume just mentioned something similar to me once.
そっかみんな同じことを考えちゃうものなのかも
I'm sure Natsume would be happy to
そ
see
う
you.
だと思うんだけどこう見えて小心者なんだよ私
But you and Natsume weren't the only kids who drew those pictures out there. Don't you keep in contact with any of the other patients?
しないかな
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. That'd be kind of
退
weird.
院するとき連絡先を聞いたりもするんだけどもともと生活圏が遠い子も多いからさ
Oh, that makes sense. Plus, their phone numbers probably changed over the years.
それにさ私は幸いにも完治して健康的に過ごしてるけど相手も同じかどうかはわからない怖いっていうか少しためら
Natsume's soul had clearly been affected by her time in the hospital, so perhaps Somei-san's was as well. If I were to simply turn a blind eye to this, it would make Natsume sad too, no doubt. In opening Cafe Stella, Natsume had managed to make her childhood dream come true. Though sure, it may have not turned out exactly the way she envisioned. Nevertheless, it brought a smile to my face, and she seemed to be enjoying herself more than ever before. What if I could recreate that scene in her drawing? Would that make her happy? She's the one who gave me this life, this joy. Would it be enough to repay her even a little? Would I be able to make her even more happy? As Natsume's boyfriend, there's nothing more I want than to see her smile, and Somei-san just happened to give me an idea.
でもまあまた同時期に夏目ちゃんと入院してるのも運命ってやつかもしれないしね前向きに考えておくよこういうのを気にしすぎてるだけで実際に連絡すると大したことないってこと
That's
それよ
true.
りもいいの
Ah, crap, I forgot.
次来るときはまたケーキの差し入れとかしてほしいな
I'll consider it. Well, I guess, if I thought you were to be discharged
まあ
soon.
ね
In that case, you might as well come to the cafe yourself.
うん
By the way, do you think I could get your phone number? Whoa, Kousei!
おーっとやっぱり 浮気か？言いつけちゃうぞ。
You know, Kousei's playing the field. He's keeping his options open here. Okay, please don't joke about that. She can be seriously scary when she gets mad.
じゃあ何？あ、もしかして友達の男の子でも紹介してくれるの？
I told you we got one in mind. Well, if you're serious, I guess I could introduce you to one of my college buddies. Sure, it's not that big of a deal. I won't ask you to do anything for me in return, but maybe you'd be willing to give me some advice.
キスってなんかいい。
Yeah, that's what it
キ
is.
スでこれなら。
あら、彼氏はもう帰ったの？
はい、バイト中なのは本当のことですから。
毎日来てるんでしょ？いい彼氏ね。そんな照れなくてもいいのに。あなたみたいな可愛い子なら男の一人や二人いて当然ってものよ。こう見えて、
yeah.
私も若い頃はそりゃあやんちゃしたものよ。
Sure you were.
私は一人で十分です。
I was just one.
思ったよりも順調。
それよりも
何かしら？
明日無事に退院できた場合なんですが、
そのはずだけど。
お風呂に入っちゃダメとかそういうこともなく、
Oh.
多少体を動かしても問題ないですよね。
We're in this part of the game, huh?
多少なら。
Everyone just has one thing on their mind.
でも多少がどれくらいにもよるけど。あ、なるほど。若い男女が付き合えばそういうことも気になるわよね。
Oh my gosh, she keeps trying to give her
私
backstory.
も若い頃は。
You're just a female nurse. You don't have a backstory. Don't give it to me.
その話はいいか。そうね。深山先生には聞きづらいわよね。
よろしくお願いします。
若いっていいわね。
Y'all are tripping. And ask those kind of questions. How lewd.
カフェステラと死神の蝶。
Alright, y'all. I think we ended here. Enough about talking about physical activity when she gets out of the hospital. We don't want to hear about that. We just want to hear about how much they love each other. And maybe they'll get married. I think that'd be cool if they have a little after story where they get married. I'd really like that. And they run the cafe together. That would be cool. But anyways, you guys, I mean, it was a good episode. I mean, I feel sad that like she had to go to the hospital and stuff, but you know, it ended up working out well. And I feel like it gave her more resolve to want to live and to be happy. And now they're like in a relationship and they've kissed, you know, again, now that they're like more into each other, I guess. Now that they've acknowledged that they're into each other. How about let's phrase it that way. But good episode. I would say so. I like where it's going. I'm just curious how they're gonna end things. I really hope Some gets with Hirito. Like, I'm gonna be so happy if that happens. I know it's like a little side plot, but I'm really happy about that. But we'll see where the next episode takes us. I'm not really sure where they want to go from here. I mean, they got to throw in all their H scenes, so I'm sure we'll have plenty of that, plenty of physical activity, as they say. But anyways, guys, I appreciate you, and I will see you in the next episode. Have a good one.